Good day everyone. So before we start, I just wanted to ask if kamusta kayo? I hope you all good and doing well. Okay, so last time we have a discussion about the equipments and facilities of volleyball. So in that topic, we already discussed what are those measurements and also the different basic skills and languages that being used in playing volleyball. So for today's lesson, we are going to have a discussion about the basic skills in playing volleyball. Okay, so ma'am, di ba po na-discuss na natin po yan last time? Yes, na-discuss na natin. Pero yung last na discussion natin, that is all just a explanation, the description, and also the different pictures. While in here, in our topic for today, you are going to watch on how to properly execute those basic skills. So, mas makikita nyo kung paano ba yung tamang way para siya ay gawin. Okay? So, in the first is that kailangan matutunan muna natin yung serving. The serve initiates play, while there are several different serving techniques. And alam nyo na to, kasi nga we already have the underhand serve or the basic serve, the float serve, the jump serve, and the top spin serve. Okay? So, makikita nyo sa video na to kung paano siya i-execute ng tama.
In this video, you will learn how to perform two types of serve. We're going to look at how to do an underhand serve and an overhand serve. First, the underhand serve. Position yourself anywhere behind the baseline. During service, you are never allowed to place your feet inside the court or on the baseline. Point your shoulders towards the net, bend your knees slightly, and bring your weak foot forward. This will be your left foot if you are right-handed. Hold the ball in the hand that's on the same side as your weak foot. Hold the ball in front of you, in line with your other arm, at a height between your hips and waist. Your arm should be slightly bent. Make a pendulum-like movement with your free arm and hit the ball from underneath. You can choose to hit the ball with either an open hand for greater precision or a closed hand for greater power. When you hit the ball, shift your body weight from your back foot to your front foot. Don't try to hit the ball hard. The power of your serve comes from the ample movement and speed of your arm. Next up, the overhand serve. For this serve, extend the arm holding the ball and toss it into the air. The ball should be tossed just above your head, slightly in front of you and in line with your other arm. With your other arm, hit the center of the ball with a flat hand, sending it upwards and forwards. Keep your arm straight. When you hit the ball, shift your body weight from your back foot to your front foot. The underhand serve is the easiest to perform, but also the easiest for your opponent to receive. With both serves, coordination and controlling your movements are essential to striking the ball at the right moment. So time to get training.
Okay, so next.
In this video, you will learn about two types of overhand jumping serve. We're going to look at how to perform a jump serve and a float serve. First up is the jump serve. Position yourself 2 to 3 meters behind the baseline and look at the area you want to aim the ball at. Toss the ball high into the air in front of you with your hitting hand. Move towards the ball, following its movement with your eyes, and accelerate on the last 2 steps before the jump. Be careful not to step on the baseline or inside the court, as this is considered a foul. Jump upwards and forwards, arching your body and pointing your free arm towards the ball to keep your balance while in the air. Prepare your hitting arm by bringing your elbow back, raised above your shoulder. Swing your hitting arm upward and forwards and hit the ball with your hand held flat and your arm outstretched. Keep your wrist supple. Bend it at the moment of contact to increase the rotation and speed of the ball. Aim for the top of the net and follow through with your serving movement, staying in contact with the ball for as long as possible. Next up, the float serve. Position yourself 1 to 3 meters behind the baseline. Toss the ball and jump, just like in the previous example. Hit the center of the ball swiftly with your hand held flat. Keep your hitting arm outstretched and your wrist straight. Stop your arm as soon as you make contact with the ball, and don't allow it to drop down towards your hips. Hold your jump and don't follow the ball forward to obtain a floating knuckleball effect. You can use this serve to surprise your opponent, as the ball's trajectory is often unpredictable. Jumping serves are difficult to master, so don't get discouraged and get practicing. Over to you.
Okay. So for sa tip dun sa mga gustong magkaroon ng magandang pagsuserve. So ito ang tips ni ma'am. So para magkaroon or malakas ang palo, so most especially dun sa mga nakikita ko nagba-volleyball and also dun sa mga nakakasama ko, dapat kasi pag nag-spike ka or nagsiserve, itong kamay mo, dapat yung bola tatama sa pulso para buo. Kasi kapag nakita nyo pinalo yung bola at buo ang tunog niya, that means buong sa pulso siya tumama. While kapag may mga naririnig kayong medyo matines yung tira or yung tama, ibig sabihin nun tumatama sa daliri at pwede yung makasuklo. So para magkaroon ng puwersa, mas maganda na yung bola ay tatama nyo sa pulso para buo at malakas yung tama papunta dun sa opponent. Okay? So next, we have the passing. So this is also, the pass is a method of receiving an opponent's serve and or overhand attack. So there are two popular forms of this skill, the forearm pass and the overhand pass. So paano ba gawin si forearm pass? So ito yung basic na makikita nyo lagi.
In this video, you'll learn how to do a bump pass. This will allow you to receive the serve or recover the ball after an attack. To perform a bump pass correctly, remember these 3 steps: position, prepare, and
Okay, so makikita nyo, yung sinasabing forearm pass is also known as bump pass.
turn the ball. Firstly, position. Move by sidestepping or cross-stepping to your position in the path of the ball. Spread your feet apart slightly wider than your hips and bend your knees slightly inwards. Keep your back rounded and lean forward a little. Secondly, prepare. Clasp your hands in front of you and tilt them to form a flat surface for receiving the ball. Always leave space between your arms and your chest so that you can gain leverage and control the power of your forearm pass. If your arms are glued to your chest, you will not be able to produce enough power. To link your arms together, clasp your hands by putting one palm over the other and folding your fingers. Thirdly, return the ball. Turn your pelvis and the flat surface of your arms to where you want to pass the ball. Hit the ball in front of you, between your knees, with the lower third of your forearms. As you hit the ball, push with your legs too. To make a good bump pass, stay still as you receive the ball. Over to you.
Okay, so next, the overhand pass.
In this video, you'll learn how to make an overhand pass. It allows you to set the ball at the net so that your attacking teammate can spike it effectively. To set a good overhand pass, bear these 3 points in mind. Position yourself, ready yourself, and hit the ball. Firstly, position yourself. When the ball arrives, observe its trajectory closely and sprint to where it will land to catch it before it touches the floor. Position yourself below the ball's path so that it lands directly in front of you. Before you make contact, turn your feet, hips, and shoulders in the direction you want the ball to travel. Secondly, ready yourself. Bring your foot closest to the net forward slightly. Bend your knees a little, keeping your back straight. Bend your elbows to 90 degrees and raise them to just above shoulder level. Position your hands in front of your forehead. Hold your hands open, around 15 centimeters apart, fingers relaxed and slightly bent. Your wrists should be bent. Turn your palms to face forwards until the tips of your 2 thumbs are facing each other. Form a triangle with your thumbs and forefingers, through which you should be able to see the ball. Thirdly, hitting the ball. Just before receiving the ball, bend your knees and lean forward slightly. When the ball arrives just above your eyes, push off with your legs to stand up as tall as possible. Use your index and middle fingers and the upper part of your thumbs. Careful, don't use the very tips of your fingers, nor the palms of your hands. At the moment you touch the ball, rotate your wrists and palms inside to outside, then push strongly with your fingers and straighten your arms up in front of you. Once you have learned this technique, practice it with some drills. Over to you.
Okay, so we are done in passing. So next is the setting. When setting the ball, the goal is to position the ball in the air so that a teammate is able to easily complete an overhand attack or hit. So this is a way on how you're going to execute this setting.
Hey, this is Johnny Neely, volleyball coach here in Salt Lake City. I'm going to talk to you about how to set a volleyball. First thing we need to be concerned about is the shape that we make with our hands. We want to make a shape with our hands that looks just like a ball. So if the ball were to be put in your hands, that's the shape that your hands should look like. As a setter, or when you set the ball, you want to make sure that you're setting the ball right above your forehead.
Okay, so medyo mapapansin nyo, wag ma-confuse kasi si passing at overhand ay iisa. Katulad din nung na napakita natin or napanood natin yung passing, ganun din sa pagsiset. So, dun sa mga nanonood ng volleyball, minsan, kapag tinotos, 'di ba, pinapalo noong ka-player, and also pag tinotos, pwede ding ipasa naman sa kanilang player. So, dito sa dalawang ito, passing and setting, meron silang similarities. Ang pinagkaiba nga lang po nitong setting, isiniset mo yung bola, ino-overhand mo pataas para mapalo. While yung sa kabila nating lesson, passing, ito yung way para naman maipas mo sa iyong kakampi. Okay?
Ball came through your hands, it would hit you on the head. The setter should take the ball about right here, right above their head. Finally, a setter needs to worry about after they set the ball, they need to push through and extend, almost like they're...
And most especially, dagdag ko lang, itong sa setting natin na overhand setting, ito yung makikita nyo most especially yung mga setter natin sa unahan. So, minsan or madalas sila yung mga nagseset ng bola. While sa passing, yun naman yung nagre-receive, yung mga players sa likod. Okay?
Almost like they're flying like Superman. Extend those arms, legs, body, and finish square to your target. I want to show you a few live sets. There we have a few sets where I focus on my shape, where I'm taking the ball on my forehead, pushing through, and finishing square to my target. This is Johnny Neely, volleyball coach here in Salt Lake City. We just talked about how to set a volleyball.
Okay. Next, ito naman yun. Our fourth basic step or basic skills is about blocking. A block is an attempt to halt an opponent's attack by jumping with the hands overhand to create a barrier at the net. The most common blocking violation is touching the net. So how are we going to execute blockings? So ito.
In this video, you'll learn how to block. Blocking is not counted as a touch of the ball. Follow these 3 steps in order to block effectively. Prepare, jump, and block. Firstly, prepare. Stand about 30 centimeters from the net. Move towards your opponent by sidestepping or by running along the net. Keep your feet parallel to your shoulders and your legs very slightly bent in order to be ready to jump. Reach your arms up and bend them with your forearms parallel to the net and with your hands at head height. Secondly, jump. Always begin your jump just after your opponent jumps. Simultaneously push with your legs and raise your arms. Jump vertically, keeping your head high and your eyes on the ball. Once in the air, stretch your arms with your hands open and your fingers spread to have maximum surface area for the block. Thirdly, block. Adapt your block depending on the 2 following situations. If you are late or your opponent is bigger than you, block defensively. For this, bring your hands back towards your head, bending your wrists. Try to slow the ball during contact in order to retrieve it afterwards. If the ball is very close to the net or the opponent is smaller than you, block offensively. For this, bend your body forwards so that your arms and hands can enter into the opponent's court. Don't forget to control your form in order to avoid any contact with the net or entering into the opponent's court, as this would be counted as a foul. Land on your front foot, then uncurl your toes and gently bend your knees. Blocking is the best way to destabilize an attack, so adapt your block according to the match situation. Over to you.
Okay? So we are in our last basic steps, basic skills, sorry. So it is all about hitting. The attack usually takes place on a team's third and final contact because an attacker's goal is to down the ball on the other team's side of the court. Players often jump when striking the ball to increase the difficulty of receiving the hit. So how are we going to do that?
In this video, you're going to learn how to attack or spike in order to score a point. To attack well, there are 3 essential steps: jumping, hitting, and landing. Firstly, jumping properly. Head to where you are going to hit the ball. If you're right-handed, finish your run-up with the following 3 steps: left, right, left. Jump forwards, pushing with your left foot to gain speed. Then throw both arms behind you. Land on the heel of your right foot. Bend your legs to push upwards and bring your left foot and your arms forwards. When your left foot touches the ground, push hard off the ground and throw your arms upwards to lift yourself up. Jump up and arch your body slightly, arms bent backwards. Secondly, hitting well. At the peak of your jump, direct your weaker arm towards the ball to help you balance. Position your strong arm behind you, bent, with the elbow above the shoulder. Hit the ball when it is as high up in its trajectory as possible. It should also be slightly in front of you. Your hand should be flat and should strike the ball in its middle. To hit hard, keep your arm straight and bring your right shoulder forwards at the moment of contact. To gain power, strike the ball with a rotating and forward movement, snapping your wrist at the moment of contact. Thirdly, landing. Control your landing to avoid any contact with the net or going into the opponent's court, which would count as a foul. Land on the front of your feet, then bring down your heels and bend your knees slightly. To carry out a good attack, pay attention to your jump, your strike, and your landing. Over to you.
Okay, so since we already have discussed or nalaman lang nyo na ang different skills or basic skills in playing volleyball, so meron tayong activity na nakalagay na sa LMS. So doon makikita nyo, pipili kayo dito sa 5 basic steps or skills ng paglalaro ng volleyball, and then i-execute nyo, i-record nyo yung sarili nyo na ginagawa ito, and then ipapakita nyo yung properly execution. Also, pwede din kayong gumamit ng bola if you want, or kumbaga pwede kayong gumamit ng mga net if meron kayo. Basta mapapakita nyo lang kung how to properly use or execute those basic steps, skills. So ibig sabihin, isa lang po ang kailangan doon na pipili. Okay? Hindi dalawa, hindi tatlo, isa lang. Pipili lang kayo doon ng isa, and then i-video nyo sarili nyo. So I hope you learned something today, and that's all for today. God bless you all.